Ty Haney is back at Outdoor Voices, relaunching the Activewear brand with a confident, bold, and sexy look. According to Glossy, Ty Haney is officially back at Outdoor Voices after a 4-year absence, bringing a fresh, confident, bold, and sexy vision to the activewear brand she originally founded in 2013. Consumer brand investment firm Consortium Brand Partners acquired Outdoor Voices in June 2024 and specifically wanted Haney to return as founder, partner, and co-owner to lead the brand's revival. The relaunch kicked off with dramatic social media fanfare as Outdoor Voices wiped its Instagram grid clean and followed just one person, Haney herself. The first product drops will be a limited edition Diamante adorned sweatshirt reading "Doing Things." Yeah, aren't we all? The brand is positioning itself as the quote uniform for doing things, expanding beyond pure athletic functionality, and the design philosophy now embraces what Haney calls an intersection between designer and activewear, with elevated details typically reserved for high-end fashion. And Ty Haney coming back to Outdoor Voices sounds a little messiah-ish to me, if I got to be honest. But this is also our put you on the spot question, our A&M put you on the spot question of the week. So here it is. Bringing back Haney as the OG outdoor voice, in quotes, could reignite the brand's magic. And thinking about whether this will work for the brand, when is a founder still the right leader years into a brand's journey? And how do you know when it's time to hand the reins to new leadership, as Outdoor Voices may have done prematurely?
Oh, I mean, wouldn't we all be wealthy if we knew exactly when the right time was to get rid of the founder and bring in some new leadership? I mean, I think that Outdoor Voices, I think, missed out. I think, as A&M suggests, Outdoor Voices released Ty Haney prematurely as a brand that is, originally direct to consumer and is really based on the influence of one person, being Ty herself. I think that the future of Outdoor Voices and whether or not this will be successful really depends on who the demo is that's going to latch onto this brand. I mean, if it's millennials from their early days in 2020 when they were, really thriving as a brand, maybe this is enough to get them to come back. But I worry about whether or not that's going to be enough to sustain the brand. Because I think if you look at this younger demographic, you look at, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, I don't know that Ty Haney means anything to them. I don't know that her coming back is really going to bring the following that Outdoor Voices saw in previous years. So, I mean, to answer A&M's question, I think, it was not the time to release her. They were still doing well. They probably should have managed this better from who's doing the merchandising, who's in charge of the store launch plans and store openings and that kind of thing versus versus putting her in charge of that, and her real talent is leading the concepting, the design, the social commerce element of this, as she's done clearly with her other two brands that she's also still a part of, Joggy, the energy drink, and her loyalty business that she spun up. So I think she's a really smart individual. They let her go too soon. Can she bring awareness back to this brand in a very crowded athleisure space? Verdict's still out for me. But what about you? What do you think? I mean, do you think
Yeah,
that you can, when is it time to let go of the founder, Chris?
yeah. Well, I do think you can be smart about how you evaluate that 100%. I mean, I think to me,
Yeah,
it comes down to two things. It's based on the results that you're seeing and the cultural assessment of the organization with which that person is leading, And I look
right.
back at what happened. I would disagree a little bit that they got rid of her too soon. I think they're just bringing her back. I mean, they got rid of her for some good reasons. Like they tried to grow too fast. They built all these stores out. They didn't end up working. They've shut them all down, and now the business is online only. I also get a little worried too when I hear people say like, she is the business. Well, if she's the business, then it's not a business because it doesn't work with her when she leaves. And a business needs to work whether the people are there or not, ultimately. Now, I know in fashion that can be a little of a tricky thing, but then it gets into what is that person tasked to do? Should she be
Hmm.
tasked to lead up the marketing and the creative
Yes.
product design? Yes. Should be tasked with leading the business? I don't know. So that's the thing. And so I'm for that reason, because it's unclear how this is going to work. I'm a little skeptical of the headline, and as it sounds like you are too, because
Hmm.
one, the space is so oversaturated right now compared to where it was 10 years ago when the DTC money was just flowing rapidly into this space. And she left the first time. So, why is the second time going to be any better? It's not like Steve Jobs coming to resurrect Apple. Apple was uber successful already at one point.
Hmm.
Outdoor Voices was it successful, or was it just riding the DTC curve and the athleisure trend curve at the same time? So those are the questions that I have outstanding for me right now. And
Yeah.
the ego, the one thing I do like is I like the ego of the social media move. Like, I think that is pure baller to try to do that. But by the same token, it potentially pisses off a lot of people too, because there's probably a lot of people who are like, oh, now I just like this brand, and now you've unfollowed me because you're so cool. But so you're gonna alienate some. But net, I think I like that move, Ann. But that's the only saving grace from this. I think that's a cool marketing tactic that they deployed.
Yeah, I think there's more to the story. And like we always say on this show, you got to follow the money. I wouldn't be surprised if there were ties from this investment group to other things that she has going on. And they're like, well, since we're going to do a deal for Joggy or your leader, like your loyalty app or something, like, would you come back and we try to bring this brand back? Outdoor Voices, and could you be, the face of this brand again so that we can try to see if you still have name recognition and value to acquire new customers and more customers. But I don't know. I think she could have been much better off starting an entirely new. I think if you're going to scrap and start from the beginning with your Outdoor Voices followers, I think you could have done a much better job just going off and doing something entirely new, especially with the product line too. I don't know if
That
you
was the
saw
point.
this.
That was the other point I had that I was going to bring up, which I'm glad you did. Which is like, if you're really that good, why don't you just start this up on your own without all the
Hmm.
legacy? Like, you've already shut the stores down. You're DTC only. What do you get at this point? Why don't you just
Right.
go into the space on your own and start over,
You
fresh?
get elevated dresses between designer and activewear, Chris, that you can
Yeah,
wear while you're swinging nunchucks around.
I can be cool, confident, and sexy, or whatever it is. Whatever those
Bold,
words.
bold,
Bold,
confident, and sexy
bold,
with your
bold, confident, and
nunchucks.
sexy,
Go
and
go
bold,
check
confident.
out. I love that the photo shoot included a woman swinging nunchucks around. I want to know where I can get my hands on some as part of my designer slash activewear apparel.